Okay, so how much do you have to pay to get into the theme park? $20, regardless of purchase and tickets or not. How much are you gonna pay for each ticket? For X tickets, yeah. So if the equation is y equals 2x plus 20. Hey, write this above. Write what I write, please. Write what I write. If it is in this form right here, you know it's linear. You know it's linear. Guys, what we're going to do today is, as a culmination of what all we've learned for 2 weeks, it's all going to come together right now. It's all going to come together. And so we should have learned all the different parts, and now we're putting them together in a story problem, word problem. So if it's in this form, it's linear. So what does the M stand for? The slope, the rate of change. And so 2 is the rate of change. So for every ticket that's sold, you're going to have to pay $2. Every ticket. But you're going to pay $20 to get in. That is your, what does the B stand for? No, the B is on any equation, B represents the y-intercept. The B is the y-intercept. What does that mean, the y-intercept? Where it passes the y-axis. Where it passes the y-axis. That's what the B stands for. So when you look at the table, well, when we look at the equation and the table, we know something. What do we know? When we look at the equation and the table, what do we already know about this graph or this information? It's not proportional. It is not proportional. Why not? Because what? This is a plus 20. That's a plus 20. Right here on the table, that's 0, 20. So that's 2 ways that you know that this is not going to be proportional. So when I graph it down here, I already know it's not going to go through the origin. Okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to cross out the y and put the y here. And I'm going to put 2x plus 20 right there. 2x plus 20. God bless you. Now, we know that 2 times 0 plus 20 is 20. So we're going to skip over here. And we're going to write 2 times 2 plus 20 gives me, good. 2 times 4 plus 20 gives me 28. 2 times 6 plus 20 gives me 32. And 2 times 8 plus 20 gives me, good. Now, were you just going up by 4, or were you doing the math? Hopefully you did the math, because sometimes they'll trick you on that. They did go up 2 every time. We're talking about that in a minute. Okay, now it says to plot the ordered pairs. So 0 is going to be 20. And what is 0, 20? My what? My y-intercept. My B, yes. My B. My y-intercept. And then 2 is 24. And then let's skip over and do 6. 6 is 32. Now, let's think a minute. Can you go in there and say, I need 2 2/3 tickets? No. So we're going to make a discrete line. Discrete. So we're going to dash it, because you cannot pay for part of a ticket. You cannot pay for part of a ticket. And on this, guys, you can see it's linear. You can see it's linear. But we're going to go prove it's linear. We're going to go prove it's linear by finding the, almost, change in y over the change in, which is the rate of change, which is the slope. Correct? Now, we already know what it is, don't we? By looking at the equation, we already know it's what? No, we already know it's what by looking at the equation. No, 2. Guys, we already know the slope is 2. Look, the coefficient in front of x is your slope. Hey, everybody remember that now? Okay, so on the change in y, we're going to go, hey, it goes from 20 to 24. What is that going up? 4. The change from 0 to 2 is 2. So we're going to come down here and go 4 over 2. Now, we can see it's linear by the graph, but let's pretend we haven't graphed it yet. So we're going to keep going and say, well, that goes up 4, and that goes up 2. That goes up 4, 2, 4, and 2. So 4 over 2 is 2, and that's our slope. Okay. Now we're going to prove that it's non-proportional, not proportional. We're going to prove that. Hey, it says calculate y over x. What does that mean, calculate y over x? No, not the rise over the run. Divide y by x, and that's the what? Yay, good, Madison and Logan. Good job. So if you divide y by x, you're trying to find the constant proportionality. We already know it's not proportional, but we're proving it right now by dividing the y by the x. So we can't divide by 0, so can't do that. We're going to take 24 and divide by 2 and get 12. And then 28 divided by 4 is 7. Good, Daniel. So 12 does not equal 7. So there is not a constant of proportionality. So it's not proportional. Okay? Turn the page or look at page 91. Now we've got a tree, and they gave us the equation to find the diameter after so many years. Okay? So I want you to write right over here, y equals mx plus b. Under it, let's go write the equation. Now, by looking at this equation and this table, what do we already know? What do we already know? Why is it not proportional, Leah? Because of the plus 10 on here. Good. And, Tori, what's the other reason? Look at the table. Look at the table. What does the table have? 0, 10. It's got to have what? 0, 0. So that's not going to work for us. 0, 10 is not going to work. That's not going to go through 0, 0. That's the y-intercept. Look, guys, the y-intercept. What's the slope? 2/5. 2/5 is the slope. 2/5 is the slope. Let's go prove how they got 2/5. So to find the slope, change in y over change in x. So 10 to 14 goes up 4. That goes up 4. And that goes up 10. We already know it's linear, guys, because it's in that form. We already know it's linear. Goes up. So I'm not going to, I don't have to go do all of them. I don't have to do them all. I can just do one because I know it's linear. But I'm going to go 4 over 10. Does that reduce down to 2/5 that they got?
Yes.
Yes, it does. Now, I want to do one more just to show you something. What does that go up? 8, and that goes up from 30 to 50? 20. And so 8 over 20, does that reduce to 2/5? It should. Divide by 4, divide by 4. Very good. You see how they got 2/5 as the slope? Okay, everybody's getting that. Now, look at the graph. You see the graph? It started at 10. Now, we wouldn't know that if we didn't have the equation, because it's kind of hard to, it's not exactly on, 10. And we can look and see, yeah, that looks like a plus 10 because we have the equation. But I want to do something right now. I want to go from this point right here over. And I'm going to do the rise and the run. What are you running right there? They're tricking you. Is it running 2? No. No. Let's don't guess. Look down at the x-axis, please, and tell me what we're counting by. Who said 10? Trent, thank you. And you girls, Tori and Caitlin, good. Guys, it's going over 10. Do you see how they got it? Went over 10. 0, it starts at 0, goes to 10. And then, so if we already know that the rise over the run is 2 over 5, so if it went over 10, we know it's got to go up 4. Who said that? Hayden, good. Because 4 over 10 equals 2 over 5. We just did it over here. Okay, look at the bottom. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you, guys, I love everything about graphing. When we started graphing, I thought that was, I just loved everything about graphing. Still do, love graphing. I would have, oh my goodness, been overjoyed to have that graphing calculator. I'm going to show you some really cool stuff later after we learn all this that you can do on that calculator. Okay? Some of you take advantage, you take it for granted, okay? So I'm hoping that you realize how great you have it. But I'm going to teach you, instead of making the points here, because I think we all can do that. We can all plug in -1, 0, 1. I think we do that. I want to go and show you how to graph it from that equation. And it's really easy. If you understand what we've done so far, you understand the M and the y-intercept, you're going to be good to go and rise over run. So tell me, what does that +1 mean? What is the +1? So do we know where to graph that? On the Y. To graph it, guys, we only have to have 2 points. Really. 3 is better. But if I have 2, I can pretty much graph it. So I've already got 1 point. Well, when I get the slope, I have to have 2 points. I've got the slope and only 1 point. So what am I going to do to get the other point? Come on, somebody think. Somebody think. I already have 1 point, and I know the slope. I'm not trying to get the slope this time. Oh. Trent, what do you think? I know. We're trying to find another point on the graph that's going to go through this without doing the table of points. Okay? We're going to use the slope. We're going to use the slope. We already know what the slope is, but there's only one number, and we need a rise over a run. So I'm going to put -2 over 1. Can I put -2 over 1 and still have -2? Yes. So now I've got the directions to get to the other point. I have the directions. I know how to get to the other point by using the rise over the run. Hey, look. So I'm going to start at this point. The only hard part about this is the run is on bottom and you start on the bottom. So we're going to run one, and then what have I got to do? -2. So am I going to go up? I'm going to go down 2. From that point, we're going to go again. I'm going to run 1, down 2. We don't know the situation, so we're going to make a continuous line. We have 3 points. Did I already know it was going to be negative? Why? Why did I know it was already going to be negative? Because it's, no, because the -2, the slope is -2. So I already know it's coming down. Okay? All right, turn the page. 92, or look at 92. We're going to skip we're going to skip the top 2 because I feel like you guys know how to plug those numbers in. And you've got a calculator, it should be simple. So I want to work on the next thing. Number 3. Look at number 3. Raise your hand if you can tell me why it's not proportional. Raise your hand if you can tell me why it is not proportional. Number 3, by looking at the table. Megan? There you go. It starts at 0, 3, guys. Look, it starts at 0, 3. What does it need to have to be proportional? 0, 0. Now, that's not the only thing. We got to find out if it's linear, if it's 0, 0. But that's at least a step in the right direction. I know that's not proportional. Now, it might be linear, though, and I want to see that. So, but in just a second. So, we're going to go and see if it's proportional by dividing our y by our x. We can't divide by zeros, so we're skipping that one. What's 7 divided by 2? 3.5. And then 11 divided by 4 is 2 point, what, Amber? 2.75? Oh, 75. Okay. Oh, I did it wrong. Okay, so 2.75. So we know that those are not the same. So, yep, it's not proportional. Now, though, I want to go see if it's linear. If it's linear, I can write it in this form. So what am I going to do first to find out if it's linear? What do I need to find? The slope, right? Yes, the rate of change, so how much it goes up, the slope. Do I already have the y-intercept? What is it? Logan. Buddy. 0, 3. It's 3. 0, 3. The y-intercept is 3. Look, it's 0, 3. 0, 3. So it's, okay? I know. So now we're going to go get the slope. This is x. So now we need to go get the slope. How do I get the slope? How do I get m? We've done it on several problems today. Change in y over the change in x. Oh, everybody should have tell me that. You're going to go from 3 to 7 and get 4. 0 to 2, 2. Now, we're trying to prove it's linear, so we need to keep going down the thing. That goes up 4, that goes up 2, 4, 2, 4, 2. So, yes, 4 divided by 2 is 2. So, what's my slope? 2. What goes in front of x? 2. I'm not here, everybody. I hope you know what you're doing. Okay, look at number 4. Is this proportional? Is this proportional? No, why not? It's got to go through 0, 0, so no. But we know it's linear, so we know I can write it in this form. Can be written in that form. Do I already know what the y-intercept is? What? What's the y-intercept? 2. So plus 2. Correct? Does everybody see how we got plus 2? Plus 2. That was from yesterday. 92. It was the package I gave her yesterday. No, that's today. Okay, look at the slope. We've got to go get the slope now. We know the y-intercept. We know x. Okay, so we had to take, look, this point right there. I had people yesterday saying, I don't know how to find the 2 points. Guys, it's where the two lines intersect. So I'm going to use that point right there because that's where they intersect, right there. So I'm going to go over how many? 1, because it's counting by ones. Be careful. Put a 1 there. And it's going up how many? 3. So the slope is 3 over 1, which equals 3. I was hoping everybody could say that. Y'all don't know that it's 3 over 1? Well, I need to hear you. It scares me when I only hear like 3 or 4 people saying it. Because I'm thinking, oh my goodness, we've worked so hard on this. How are they not knowing it? Do I need to go back and redo it? It's 3 over 1, which is 3. And so we put 3 in front of the x. Okay, now look at number 5. Look at number 5. We've got y equals x minus 1. Instead of doing the points, guys, and graphing it, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to graph it from this equation. Okay? So I'm going to make it larger so everybody can see what we're doing. This is important. Put y equals x minus 1 right over here so you can see what we're doing. Who knows? Raise your hand when you know what the y-intercept is. Raise your hand when you know what the y-intercept is on this equation. Every hand should be up. We've done about 4 of them. The y-intercept. Caitlin? What's the y-intercept? -1. Guys, that's the y-intercept. The people that didn't have their hands up, look. That's the y-intercept. So, -1. You're going to put your point at -1. Who knows the slope? Raise your hand when you know the slope. Shh. Raise your hand when you know the slope. Hayden? No. It's the number in front of x. Jay? 1. Guys, it's the number in front of x, the coefficient. So it's 1. But I need another point on here. I don't want to do that, the table, and find the other point. I want to be able to just graph it. So the slope is 1, so I need to put it over 1. No, just 1. 1 over 1 is 1. If it's a whole number, an integer, you just put it over 1. So you'll have a rise over a run. So we're going to run and not down. Why is it up? It's positive, yes. Run one, up one. Now, I want to show you something or ask you something. We've got 3 points, but they're kind of close together. I want to do one that's a little further away. So starting from 2, 1, could I go over 3 and up 3? Would that be the same as 1?
Yes.
3 over 3 equals 1. Yes. Hey, go back down to 0, negative 1. Could I go to the left 3 and down 3?
No.
Yes, I can. Negative 3, yes, negative 3 over negative 3 equals 1 also, doesn't it? And then we don't know the situation, so we're just going to connect our points. It's continuous. Okay? All right, now look at page 96. Turn all the way to 96. Boy, look at the top of the page. We've had it in our foldable. I've told you several times today, and look what's at the top of page 96. Y equals mx plus b. Look at there, look at there. M is the slope, b is the y-intercept. Not x. The number, the coefficient in front of x is the slope. Look at this chart that shows what this phone salesman made. He sold 10 phones and made $480, 30 and made $780, and so on. So what they did is they went to see if his rate of change was the same. So they went and subtracted 630 and 480, got 150. They subtracted that and got 10. And then they divided to get 15. They did that on every one of these and got 15. So the rate of change is constant, and it's 15. So you know that he made $15 for every phone he sold. Okay? So we know the equation is going to be y equals 15x. True? Because the rate of change is also the what? What's another name for rate of change? Slope. Somebody said it over here. Slope. Good. The rate of change and slope is the same. Now, we need to find out if it's proportional, though, or not. On your calculator, what is 15 times 10? Or we don't even need a calculator. What's 15 times 10?
150.
Well, it's not 480, is it? No, it's not 480. So, what they did, guys, so we know it's not proportional. It's not proportional. So, to find out the plus, see, he got paid a weekly salary. He got paid a weekly salary plus his commission. So, we already know that he's going to have to, they pay him something for the week plus the $15 a phone. On the chart, they've already showed you what it is. And this is one way to go find this y-intercept. What they did, this wasn't on the chart. What they did is said, well, if you're going forward 10, if I back up 10, I find that 10 minus 10 is 0, right? If I'm going forward 150, if I back up 150, then that's going to be 330. Well, what is 0, 330? My y-intercept. So I know that I found out what he made per week. He made 330 plus 15 a phone. Now, there's another way to do it besides backing up, because sometimes it's not easy. The ones we're going to do today, easy to back up. But what you could have done is said, well, 15 times 10 is 150. Y'all watch. You could have gone 15 times 10 is 150 plus what gives me 480. So you'd have gone 480 minus 150 and found the 330. That's another option if you don't understand the backing up. Okay, so look at the bottom. It says find the slope and y-intercept. So we're trying to find the slope and what the y-intercept is. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is find the change in y over the change in x. 22 to 32, what's that going to go up? 10. And 2 to 4 goes up 2. So 10 over 2 is 5. The slope, yes, 5, which is the slope. So everybody see how we got 5? Now, they're telling us it's a line, so we don't need to go do all of them. We just need to do one. Because we already know, yep, it's a line. It's got a rate of change. It's got a slope. But let's use their method and back up. If I back up 2, I'm going to get 0 for x. So I'm going to back up. I'm counting my 10s on the bottom, so I'm going to back up 10 and get 12, huh? So it's going to be plus 12. Y-intercept is 12. If you don't understand that, then look, I'm going to take this right here, the 2, the 22. I know I'm going to multiply 5 times 2 to get 10. 5 times 2 is 10. So plus what gives me 22? 10 plus 12 gives me 22. So on number 2, I'm going to get the slope first, changing y over changing x. That goes up, well, how much? How much? 7. And that goes up 1. So 7 over 1 is 7. So y equals 7x, correct? Y equals 7x, because that's your slope, your rate of change. Now, let's go find the y-intercept. It goes back. That's going to be 0, huh? And so if I back up 7, I'm going to get 1. So plus 1. Very good. If you don't understand that, you can take the 1. You already know you're going to multiply by 7. 7 times 1 is 7. And you got to add something to get to 8. So 7 plus 1 is 8. Does that make sense? Okay. Look on page 100 real quick. Page 100. Okay. Look at number 11. Look at number 11 real quick. Okay. Guys, it says explain why it's not linear. Number 11, why it's not linear. Let's look. We're going to see if there's a rate of change, right? If it's the same. What's that go up? 2, and that goes up 1. 2, 1. Uh-oh. That goes up what? 3, huh? So it's not linear because the rate of change is not constant. 2 over 1 does not equal 3 over 1. You're trying to find M, rate of change, slope. Does that make sense? So on number 12, that goes down 14, goes up 2. This goes down 16 and goes up 2. Uh-oh, that's not going to work. Negative 14 over 2 is negative 7, right? Negative 16 over 2 is negative 8. So that's not, they're not the same, are they? No. Okay. Close your book. Okay, very quickly. I need everybody to go right down. I want you to write down the equation. Look at the table and go write the equation on the blank where it says equation. Go, quickly. Find a way to change. Okay, what'd you get? Well, the equation's just 8. Well, how are we going to write that? We can just put times. Thank you, girls. 8x plus 6. Good. Right here. This goes up 8. This goes up 1. So the change in y over the change in x. 8 over 1 is 8. 8 over 1 equals 8. Don't leave it 8 over 1. And so then we know the slope is 8. So to find 6, hey, they gave it to us, didn't they? They were nice and gave us the y-intercept. So what do y'all want this problem to be? We're going to start with 6 what? 6 hot dogs. Okay. So we start with 6 hot dogs and then we're going to eat 8 bucks a piece. Well, no, if you're going to say $8 a piece, you got to say you've already paid $6 for something. You paid $6 for a drink and you paid $8 for every hot dog you ate? Does that sound reasonable? No, not really. I mean, we could. Eating contest, you ate 6 and then started eating 8 every minute? Or every, I don't know, huh? That's it. Y'all want to do that? I tell you what, let's just do what the other 2 peers did, and they did it on their own. I didn't. Let's start with $6. Okay, it's just easier. So you're going to start with $6. Okay. So $6 is what the amount I start with. I'm starting with $6. Okay. So X is going to be the what? Y'all want X? So you have 6. Oh, I should have just done it myself. Put it in practice. All right, on here, let's let X be the hours. Okay, so we're going to do $6 is the amount you start with. X is the hours, and Y is the total earned. So 8 would be the amount you earn per hour. And then, so we're going to say Faith at $6, then starts making $8 an hour. How much will she make Y at X hours? And then we go graph it. 0 is 6. And then we did 3, 30. 3 is 30. And then you graph it. And so you know it's non-proportional and it's positive. Very good. Put this in practice.